There we go.
There it is. There it is. There it is. All right. What's up, y'all? Back in the motherfucking house again. Got some family up in here. Another live stream. Another one about to be in the books. So I got my man Mike from Did You See That? Welcome back once again, bro. How you feeling on this? How you feeling on this nice Friday? And is that a Back to the Future ugly sweater you have on?
It is indeed, yeah.
I'll be John Brown. Looky yonder. All right. All right. So say what's up to the people real quick, man. We just gonna get into this.
Yeah, sweet. Well, thanks for having me once again, man. It's really appreciated, and yeah, definitely class in session. And yeah, just hey everyone. Mike from Did You See That? Probably don't need to introduce myself because I've been on Rashad's channel plenty of times by now, and vice versa.
Man, look.
But yeah, thanks for having me.
If you have to introduce yourself, then y'all need to be watching, man. Mike been here long enough. This family, he ain't got to introduce himself, except for at the end when he plugs his channel in, because of course he has to promote what he has coming up. But for right now, you know what I'm saying, we're just gonna kick our shoes off, have a little drink. In my case, water here. It's not time for me to drink alcohol yet. And all right, we already got one comment here from my man Jacob. Have a good stream. We'll watch the replays. I'm currently at work. All right. I feel I gotta go to work in a few hours myself, bro. Haven't seen The Running Man, but Predator is 80s cheesy. 80s. Why do people keep calling it cheesy? It's not cheesy. Commando is cheesy. Okay. First Blood Part 2 is cheesy. Predator is a timeless classic. Put some respect on its name. Get my pressure up. Our Exploitation Reviews is in the house. What's up, fam?
Hey, Rob.
Yeah, I hit him up. I hit Rob up earlier, man. I totally forgot we were supposed to do a collab on a movie called Mandingo, and I gotta start writing this shit down like in a planner, bro, because I'll be talking to so many people, man. I have so many collabs I'll be wanting to do, and then I'll be forgetting. You know what I'm saying? Like I forgot about this one, like about a few weeks ago. We were supposed to do it on a Tuesday, and then Thursday came around. I'm like, something's wrong. I said, why do I feel like I'm forgetting something? I went back and looked at our messages. I said, oh, fuck. We were supposed to do a stream on Tuesday. Damn. I know, Mike, you were probably like, the fuck is wrong with this guy? Yeah, man. My son got too tired to finish Pinocchio.
Okay.
Yeah. With Mike, we definitely got some shit to review this weekend. So, well, for me personally, Emancipation just came out, the new Will Smith movie. I gotta review it for the channel, bro, but I'm not looking forward to it because honestly, Mike, I've had enough of slavery movies, man. I don't want to see no more slavery movies.
Yeah, I saw Blacktastic's review the other day on the movie, and he said the exact same as you, Rashad. Now, obviously, I can't comment on slavery movies, but I can kind of definitely agree with you. I think it's just it's just overdone. Like we get the point that happened, X amount of years ago.
Yeah, it's almost like okay, I know that I took ass whoopings as a child, right? And I don't want to continually be reminded of the ass whoopings that I got as a kid. Okay, it happened, it hurt, I'm traumatized by it, but I'm moving the fuck on from it. You know what I'm saying? And that's what we need to stop reliving, Black trauma and move the fuck on. You know what I'm saying? I mean, of course, always remember it. But don't keep bringing it up. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not gonna beat Mike. I'm not gonna beat you in checkers and rub it in your face. Well, I probably would, but I guess that's a bad. that's a bad analogy. Predator Cheese, No Effing Way. Yeah, both films are Arnie Gold. Okay, Video Tasties. Mike, that's from your channel, right?
Yeah, a guy called Gareth.
Gareth. Okay, Gareth. Thank you for coming and checking us out, bro. Oh, we're sorry, Rashad, but Mandingo is also a slavery movie. Okay, but that's a 70s. Okay, but that's a 70s slavery movie. Okay, this is around the time where they really weren't making them like that. So I don't mind that. All right, so you know how we do here. Before we get into what we're gonna talk about, I'm gonna show you real quick what we about to talk about. So hold on. This is actually the longest trailer I've ever cut. So you ready? Let's do this.
Sweet.
Hey, yo, that was crazy, right? That's ripped right from Predator. Remember when Apollo Creed got shot and the arm fell and the trigger was still moving? You've never seen Predator? Yo, come on, man.
ever been on Earth before. We cannot see it, but it sees the heat of our bodies and the heat of our fear. It kills for pleasure. It hunts for sport. But this time, it's picked the wrong man to hunt. Arnold Schwarzenegger in Predator.
Sensational. Perfect contestant. I want him. On your mark.
I'll be back. The highest rated TV show in history.
Guess they want us to stay.
It's a game between life and death. Arnold Schwarzenegger is the Running Man.
All right.
That was awesome.
Oh, thank you, sir. Thank you. Yeah, Mike ain't seen shit. and you know what? And that's even though that's a little cheesy what I did, but that's just how I feel when I say, yeah, Mike, have you? Nah, I haven't seen it. Gah! I'll be like ready to Hulk out. All right, so
that was me.
You know what I'm saying? But yo, it's all good though, man. So yo, forget saving the best for last. We're gonna talk about this now. I've been itching to talk about this movie with somebody that hasn't seen it for the longest. All right. So Predator, starring Arnold and like a whole bunch of like before the Expendables, it was Dutch and his crew, Carl Weathers, Jesse the Body Ventura, Bill Duke, the tall Native American guy, Sonny Landham. And of course the Predator himself, Kevin Peter Hall, I think his name was, rest in peace. Yeah, directed by John McTiernan, who also I believe did Die Hard, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Sorry, excuse me. I have noisy neighbors. This is one of the benefits of living in the hood. They just don't give a shit. So yeah. So Predator dropped to 87. I didn't see this in the theater, unfortunately, but when it came on VHS, it still took me about 2 months to see it. I tell the story all the time, bro. Back then, like the mom and pop video stores only got like 3 or 4 copies of the newest releases, if it's a big one, okay? So Predator was always rented out, and by this point, my father was already gone, so I had no hookup to the video store anymore. My father had left, so it was up to me to go there and be like, hey, do you have Predator? They said, no, we don't, but we have something else for you. Garbage Pail Kids, here you go. All right, cool. Take that home, come back. Do you have Predator now? Nope, but we got something even better. The Lost Boys. All right. So I must have watched about I made 10 trips to the video store, watched 10 different movies before I finally saw Predator. But when I saw it, it was worth the wait because that movie blew me away. I understood the hype at the time in 87, one of Arnold's best movies. Okay, so personally, I love it. You know, I mean, right off rip, Predator for me gets an A+. So when people talk about Prey and how Prey is so great, and I mean, Prey was not bad, but you can never compare it to the OG. Like to this day, me and Perez still got to get the fisticuffs because he had the balls, the audacity to say that Prey was up there with the OG, even better in a lot of ways. No. So A+, I love Predator. So Mike, the floor is yours, bro. What did you think about this? Your first time watching it, man? The Predator.
Yeah, sure. Well, it's cool hearing your story to start with because you have like such a different experience to me. I only just watched this before the stream tonight. So my first experience is on Disney Plus. But I can definitely get where Rob was saying this, and like you were saying, Rashad, like in the 80s and that limited print to try get that movie, and you can't. And you know yourself, when you can't have something, you want it even more.
Facts.
So, especially like you guys trying to get that at the time. You know, I wasn't born then, unfortunately, but you know, it was So I got to see it on Disney Plus today, and I will say that I really enjoyed the movie. I think Arnold was awesome in it. I think he's probably the biggest I've ever seen him in this movie. Like his bicep at times, it's like, is that
probably the
real?
most cut. Yeah.
There was certain shots where his bicep was like, instead of like being here, it was like there. And I was like, as he ripped his bicep, I was like, I don't I mean, this is a fair comment by Rob. So I think it's different with everyone. Like, so just so everyone has a heads up, the only Predator movies I've seen before this one, Rashad, was the Adrian Brody one, The Predators, I think it's called.
Predators, yeah. Yeah.
And then the Shane Black one.
The Predator, which I haven't seen.
Don't. So that was my experience of Predator. I've never seen any. Still haven't seen Prey. I haven't seen Predator 2 yet, so I don't know if they're any good. So yeah, this was awesome. I loved Arnold Schwarzenegger as Dutch and Carl Weathers as Dylan. I thought it was great. I finally saw the handshake. The
ultimate, the bromance. Yeah. Dylan, you son of a bitch.
and then he's like arm wrestling him. He's like, "What's wrong? Is the CIA got you pushing pencils?"
Yeah. You know what's crazy about that, bro? They actually had a real rivalry on set because behind the scenes they were really filming in the jungle. So Arnold, like every movie he does, he always has a gym on the set. You know what I mean? Like his own personal gym. So like him and everybody else was like going to the gym like 6 o'clock in the morning, to work out for 2 hours, then do cardio, and then film for 12 hours. So it was like a very excruciating shoot. And Carl Weathers, to play some mind games, Carl Weathers would go to the gym even earlier. So if Arnold got there at 6, Carl Weathers was there at 4, So when Arnold got wind of this, he was like, no, like nobody outworks me. But the prank is that Carl would not be working out though. Like he would just like pour water on himself and like get a quick pump to look like he was working out for hours, but really he was working out with the rest of them, but he was just fucking with Arnold. You know what I mean?
That's awesome.
Yeah, so stuff like that, man. Like everybody was in like top shape. So yeah, when you say Arnold was probably the biggest you've ever seen him, I don't know if he was the biggest, but he was the most cut. Like he was like cut. That dude was shredded like a julienne salad, man. He was ripped because like that's all they did on set. They was pumping iron and in the jungle filming the movie, So there was very little time to play 18 holes of golf or go to a nightclub. Like you're in the jungle for like 4 months filming this movie, this hot ass place. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah. So Predator 2 was a little controversial at the time. No, Arnie. Yeah, Predator 2 to me is a guilty pleasure. Like it's popular to shit on the movie, but personally, I liked it. I don't love it, but I really dislike some great scenes in there. And I think Danny Glover kind of, he's the lead in Predator 2. So to go from Arnold to the B side of Lethal Weapon, starting the next Predator, you know what I mean? So the odds were against him, but yeah, not a bad movie though. But but back to this one.
Right.
And actually there's another prank too that happened, Mike, where Jesse Ventura, who used to wrestle back in the day, right? Jesse the Body. Yeah, and so he thought that his arms were bigger than Arnold, right? So he wanted to have a measuring that, like, I almost said dick measuring contest, but same thing. He wanted to have an arm measuring contest to see whose arm was bigger. So Arnold pulled a prank on him and had the what's the people call that? The wardrobe people to tell Jesse that, gave him different measurements, right? So when he measured Jesse, he said, "Oh yeah, your arms are 21 inches." Yeah, Arnold measured at 19. And he was like, "Oh shit, yeah, so my arms are bigger than Mr. Universe, right?" So when they finally met up and now it's time to pay up, like, "Yeah, Arnold, guess what? I found out that my arms are actually an inch or two bigger than yours." So, okay, let's measure them right now. When they measured him, Arnold's arms were actually an inch bigger. So Jesse, he lost a bottle of champagne to Arnold that day.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, Arnold, he was quite the prankster too, man. So, all right. So, so Mike, people call it cheesy, right? They call the movie cheesy. Okay, your opinion, first time watching, right? You don't have the same connection that I have with this movie. Do you think it's cheesy?
Nah.
Okay.
So, it's cheesy to me is what you said, Rashad. Some perfectly Commando. That's cheesy. Like when he's got the machine gun in the garden scene,
right.
And like do you need a hand kind of thing? Like that's cheesy. I felt like in this it was like very serious and very grounded for the concept that it had. No, I wouldn't say it was cheesy at all. No.
Yeah. I mean, and I think too, it had the perfect blend of it starts out as an action movie, and then it goes from an action movie to kind of like a horror movie because the Predator's kind of like a slasher where he's taking them out one by one, and then it's sci-fi at the same time. So it's like an action horror sci-fi movie, it blends the genres. And but I will say, okay, as much as I do love this movie, I ain't gonna lie, when I do watch it, when I rewatch it, I want to get right to the Predator stuff. So the stuff before that is decent. They have that big shootout scene where they take out all the those South American mercenaries or whatever. And that seems pretty cool, but it's like, man, I want to see the Predator stuff though, So
Right.
yeah, so when the Predator does come into the picture, that's when the movie like really takes off. But I like too how they do the Jaws effect where you don't see him until like way later. You know what I mean? So what was your thoughts about that? Like, did it bother you that you didn't see him sooner, or do you think that was effective? Where like, okay, that's good they kept him hidden, so when the big reveal came, it paid off.
Yeah, I would say probably a bit of both. So I like you. I like the mercenary scenes when they're eliminating them all. I thought that was cool. And Arnie's lifting like the structure up, so like puts the car like going down the hill.
Yeah.
I was like, clearly just a way to show how strong he is, but I was enjoying it. So I really like that part. I guess the part for me I didn't like was the woman who was in this movie.
Oh yeah,
I felt like she wasn't. I just felt like she wasn't needed like at all, and I felt like it dragged the movie down because there's so much paying attention to her. It was like kind of like an unnecessary character. So at the same time, I was really enjoying the elements where, as you mentioned, like the Jaws effect. Still a movie I've never seen.
Okay. Sorry.
But you know,
once again, Mikey ain't seen shit.
Right.
Well, I mean, we'll spoil it. Like, you don't see the shark until like an hour into the movie. So, I mean, I guess that's a good thing to give you a heads up. So, if, like, you watch Jaws, you think, okay, the shark is gonna be seen through. No, you actually. I mean, he does stuff throughout the movie, but you don't actually see it. You don't actually see the shark until an hour in. And that's what Predator does. Yeah. So in the meantime, you just see like his silhouette, you know, his camouflage in the woods. And every now and then you'll see like a glimpse of his helmet, or like when he got shot, you see him like, you know, patching himself up. So you see like his hands and his legs and stuff, but you don't actually see him until like that reveal, you know. And like everybody back in the day, that the moment where he takes the mask off and he drops it, you see that. Even to this day, that shit holds up. Like compared to the other Predator, you know, sequels or whatever, that look still holds up to this day. And when Arnold hits him with the line, "You're one ugly motherfucker," that's one of the coldest lines in cinema history.
Yeah, I agree. I love that reveal scene. I thought it was so well done. But you're right though, Richard. No, I got to agree with you. Like I love the parts where you don't see the Predator. And you get like those kind of like that X-ray vision as such, or that thermal vision, sorry. Yeah. And so it's like straight away you feel like, oh, like shit, like someone's stalking them, but they have no clue who's stalking them. Right. So it's kind of like obviously the creature's got the upper hand, and they think at the same time, oh, but we've got the upper hand. You know, we've seen glimpses of them, and especially that scene where they're just shooting the whole like the trees down,
the whole forest down. Yeah, which Perez took a shit on that scene. He was like, dude, it was no reason for that scene to happen. It was just, you know, just a reason to show off all the guns and stuff. You know, it's the 80s, so they have to show a lot of stuff get blown up. But it was just really unnecessary. It just really did add nothing to the plot of the story. What you mean did add nothing to the plot of the story? You know what? I wish he was here so I could chew his ass out. Okay, well, I'm gonna visualize Perez right where you're sitting at, Mike. So don't take this personal. How the hell do you say that doesn't apply to the story? All right. Mac just seen his homeboy get blasted through the chest, ribs and everything busted out, right? His man falls right in front of him. So in that moment, if I see my man on the ground and he's shot and I'm looking and all I see is glowing green eyes and a silhouette, I'm like, what the fuck? I'm shooting everything that moves. I'm going at that moment. I'm not thinking logically or rationally. I'm thinking, what the fuck am I dealing with? My man's on the ground. I'm shooting every fucking thing.
Right.
Okay. And of course, when the rest of them show up, they're like, yo, what fuck it. I'm gonna follow what he's doing, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, Mike, think, okay, put yourself in that position. So you see me shooting, right? You see me just blast with like, what the fuck? And you got your gun. What's your first reaction to be? What the you know?
Right. Right. Yeah. At the end of the day, they're a team. So if one of them shoots, the rest of them's gonna shoot.
Right.
No, I think it was a necessary scene. It was like a quick reaction to like his friend just being shot.
Right.
So of course, seeing glowing eyes, like me and you'd be like, "What the fuck is that?" You know?
Exactly.
And you are gonna be like, and when he's got the machine gun, the first thing we would do is get that machine gun and go.
Yeah. Mike, well, wasn't that one of the most coldest guns you ever seen? That fucking minigun. Yeah. Oh God, I think Arnold had that same one in T2. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That motherfucker was bad, man. I was like, so yeah, Perez. Yeah, it adds nothing to the story, and narratively it doesn't fit, but it's just more that 80s cheese that they added in there. I'm like, to me, that's a cop out, man. Every time you say 80s cheese, I feel like it's a cop out because everything that's from the 80s automatically gonna think, okay, that's 80s cheese. But yo, that 80s cheese is better than 90% of the shit that we see now. Tell me I'm lying, Jack.
Nah,
shit.
Not at all.
I should have took a pressure pill before I got on this damn stream. Predator is a slasher. Mass killer in the forest kills the guilty one by one. Yep, the final girl, Arnie. Yeah, so Arnold is the final girl. Yeah, defeats the killer with wits, not brawn. Exactly.
Right.
And Mike, I'll agree with you. Yeah, the girl Anna. Yeah, her character was kind of unnecessary, but I guess she was there just to kind of, translate. Like, like every horror movie has that one character that knows the lore of the monster. Like, so, like you have that one character like, yes, I can tell you everything about Freddy Krueger and what he did, or yes, Jason, he did this and this, and, so it gives you the whole backstory. So I guess she was there kind of for that, just to give you, because she was there when all this shit happened, when it first happened, the reason why they were there, you know what I'm saying? So I guess that was the point of her character. But yeah, like you, if she would have got offed, I wouldn't have cared.
I just don't think she was needed. I feel like the team enough was solid, and you like those characters like Mac and Dylan and Dutch and everyone else. Right. I just felt like she had nothing because she was obviously speaking Spanish, I believe it was. So obviously a couple of them understood Spanish, so they knew what she was saying.
Right.
And then she just starts talking English, and I'm kind of like, well, like why? I'm like, it's not as if she could speak Spanish and no one could understand her whatsoever.
Right.
So everyone's like puzzled as to like what this crazy chick's going on around. Like people understand what she was saying. So then she just switches it to English. I'm like, you're not really being dumb because people already know what you're saying in Spanish.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point because even when she did speak in Spanish, and I think Pancho was the only one that understood her. But when she was speaking in Spanish, she was speaking in parables, So it was like, the jungle that came alive and took him. Like, what this? So Carl Weathers like, that's bullshit. That's not what she said. What she said didn't make any damn sense, So she goes from speaking in parables like, the jungle that came alive and took him to, yes, the big man. When the big man was wounded, you must have heard that. His blood was on the leaves. I'm like, why the fuck didn't you say that from the beginning? But of course, it sets up Arnold's line. If it bleeds, we can kill it.
Right.
And I gotta say too, this time also the puns have like really dialed down, even though they're still there, but not as obvious as the next movie that we're going to talk about. But the puns are still there, but not annoyingly. You know what I'm saying? So let me ask you, who is your favorite? Okay, besides Arnold. Who is your favorite of the group of the crew?
I've got to say Dylan. Carl Weathers, Yeah. I think he was awesome. Like just his chemistry with Arnold for me, I thought was great.
Yeah. He was kind of an asshole though. I'm sorry, go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, I was just saying it's just being built from the first scene, So.
Yeah, but he starts out as kind of an asshole because. They thought they were there for to find out what happened to what's his name, Hopper. You know what I'm saying? Which was almost like they want to say Jimmy Hoffa. If you know the story about Jimmy Hoffa, how he went missing and nobody found him or whatever. Okay. That's a actual person that existed back in the day. But yeah, they was going there to see what happened to Hopper, right? But realistically, they was there for something else. Like Carl had an agenda. Dylan had an agenda, so in a lot of ways he was kind of the villain. But then when Predator gets introduced and now they're in the thick of shit, okay, he goes from being the villain to now, okay, you're in the shit with, like, Arnold told him, like, dude, you're in the shit with the rest of us. Because remember that scene after they took out all the mercs, right? And Dylan had the documents that he was looking for, and Arnold was like, you set this up, you do your dirty work, you dropped the 6 of us in the meat grinder.
Your impression's fantastic.
Yeah, thank you, man. Yeah, Dylan's like, I woke up. Why don't you? You're an expendable asset, and I use you to get the job done. So, yeah, Dylan was a cool character, but he was an asshole, though. You know what I'm saying? So, in a lot of ways, out of everybody that got killed, he was the one that kind of had it coming. You know what I mean?
But at the same time, when you're saying about getting the job done, you take one look at Arnold and you're like, yeah, I'm going to do whatever I can to get this guy on my team.
Right. Yeah, to get in the team. Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
For me personally, I gotta say Mac. Mac was a standout, man. Mac was crazy, bro. Like, dude, this guy was dry shaving with a razor with no fucking shaving cream or nothing. Just
yeah, I was wondering what was going on in that scene.
Actually, it agrees with me. Yeah, Mac. Yeah.
I love when he's shaving. I love it, like that bit when you mentioned Rajah, like when he's shaving, and he stops shaving and the blade's just stuck here.
Yeah.
And then as he starts to bleed, but it's just stuck there. He's like that.
And it just breaks. I'm like, ugh.
Right.
You know, and think about, and he's sweating too. Like, I mean, have you ever shaved with a straight razor to your face before?
Yeah.
That shit burns. So just imagine you sweating with no shaving gel, just a regular razor, just dry shaving. Yeah, he was crazy, man. And of course, my favorite scene of his is when the Predator he attacks him for the last time, right? So Pancho gets fucked up. They gotta get to the chopper, and Mac goes after the Predator.
Yeah.
So he takes everything off like, I'm a happy something. I'm a happy something. I'm a happy something. I said, this motherfucker done went crazy.
Oh, his death is awesome.
Yeah, he got it bad, didn't he?
Splat right in front of the...
Let's also forget the great soundtrack with Little Richie. Yep, long, and that's what he was singing too, where he was going after him. Yep, Long Tongue Sally. Yeah.
Well, the soundtrack, I knew straight away, like when the title cards are opening up and it's telling you like who's in the movie. I knew the soundtrack was going to be good because it's Alan Silvestri who does the soundtrack, and obviously known for Back to the Future. So I was like, it's bound to be a good soundtrack, you know.
Facts. And I don't know if you remember, we had a conversation a while ago where I was saying how he scored not an Endgame but Infinity War, right? So the scene where Thanos comes out in Wakanda and Cap is like, hey, that's him, you know. And the track that's playing sounds a lot like Predator because Alan Silvestri, you know, he scored that one as well. So yeah, if you go back, just go back and watch that scene real quick when he goes to Wakanda and listen to the music cues. It sounds a lot like Predator.
Yeah, I'll have to check it out. Yeah.
All right. So okay, you said Dylan's your favorite character. Okay, so favorite death. What death was the one where you was like, damn, that motherfucker, he was. Yeah, he got it bad, Mac.
just because it's literally like a splash right in front of the camera.
Yeah.
All he just sees. That.
It was a bad one, but you know, in a way though, he kind of got off easy because it was such a quick death. So it's like boom, and you're like, you're dead. I think Dylan got it the worst because Dylan got his arm shot off. Arm falls on the ground.
His gun still.
The finger's still going. So he's sitting there with no arm, right? Seeing this thing run at him. So I'm thinking about, like, you know, I don't know if your mom ever, like, before she beats your ass, but she's looking for a belt. So the anticipation of what's to come. Yeah. So the anticipation of what's to come. So he's white. There's nothing he can do about it. He has no gun. His arm is off. And he's like, watch this thing like, holy shit, I'm about to die. And sure enough, he, you know, jacks him up.
I love that scene when his arm gets cut off and the gun's just still going on the ground.
It was some good deaths, but at the same time, there was some terrible deaths too, because I think Billy was the worst death. You know what I'm saying? Because Billy was the one that he was kind of, you know, the superstitious one. He was like he was always spooked, you know. So I think would have made the movie better if they would have had like a little bit of a standoff, you know.
Yeah,
I think besides Arnold and Jesse and Jesse Ventura Blaine, I think Billy was the most physically imposing of the group. So that'd been cool if they would have had a little, because he took out the knife and everything, you know, had the knife out, cut himself, whatever the fuck that was for, and he was like waiting for him. So like, wouldn't you want to see like a standoff between the two of them?
Yeah, Billy was awesome. Like he was like a likable character as the movie was going on. That other character telling like a pussy joke to him as well.
Yeah.
It's like, and the girl was like, so why did you say that twice? He's like, I didn't.
Yeah, you know that was that's Shane Black. He's the guy that directed the Predator. Yeah. Yeah.
Shocking.
Yeah, so yeah, I think he wrote and directed The Predator, and he wrote Lethal Weapon.
I don't know how he goes from writing Lethal Weapon to The Predator.
Yeah, yeah.
Especially when he was in Predator.
Hmm.
Wow.
Yeah, I think he was supposed to shit. I don't know if I got my story right, man. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but I think he was supposed to be more involved with Lethal Weapon. And something happened where because I know Joe Silver, he's the producer for all those movies. So I don't know if they said, okay, we'll give you an acting job if you write Lethal Weapon for us, or vice versa. You know, if you put in this movie, can you write this movie? So, but some way that they're kind of connected. And and I don't know if you've seen it, but he also wrote The Last Boy Scout with Bruce Willis.
No, I've not seen that one.
Nah, that one. What about what's that movie with Russell Crowe and Ryan Gosling?
The Nice Guys.
The Nice Guys. Yeah, I believe he wrote and directed that one as well.
I like that movie.
Yeah. So yeah, he has kind of a sick sense of humor, which you can see in Predator with the bad jokes that he told. Yeah, man. So what about the climax? Okay, so what about the final face off between Arnold and Predator?
Yeah.
What'd you think about that?
Man, awesome. Yeah. Yeah, that was a good death as well.
Yeah.
Hawkins, yeah. That was a good one. The climax, man, was awesome. You know, like as Rob was saying, I've got to agree. Like he didn't use like just the raw brawn muscle strength he had. He was smart about it. He's like, oh well, actually, you know, the Predator can't detect mud. It's such a thermal vision. So that scene when the Predator's coming out of the water and the electric and stuff coming off him, and Arnold's just in the tree like that, you know, and he can't see him. I was like, that's awesome, you know. That's just like it made Arnold. It fit his kind of persona in the movie of being smart, because he didn't realize he was getting used by Dillon at the beginning.
Right.
Throughout the movie, he's trying to make good decisions. He's trying to get his team back to the chopper.
Get to the chopper.
But yeah, he just makes smart decisions throughout the movie. He doesn't make like too many dumb decisions.
Right.
So it fits the character to be like, oh well, actually, I need to outsmart this invisible creature. Then to try beating him with his muscles because he was just loose, you know. I think it was a good ending. Yeah.
You know what? I'm gonna be honest. At the time when I was a kid, I felt a little disappointed just because I'm so used to Arnold being Superman. You know, so you watch Commando, took out a whole army by himself. You know, took a pipe and threw it through a person. You know, Conan, he knocked out a horse. You know, took on a snake. You know what I'm saying? Arnold was like Superman at the time, right? So as a 7-year-old, as I'm watching this movie and I see how Arnold's like he's like hitting him, giving him everything he got. And it's not even phasing Predator. And Predator just has his way with him. Just beats the living shit out of Arnold. You know what I'm saying? To the point where he's on the ground, bloody as shit, like he wants to cry, you know? So I remember first watching that, like, Arnold's kind of a pussy in this movie, you know? But not knowing it. But like, of course, now when I watch it, like, I love this movie. But at the time, I was like, damn, you know, Arnold got his ass whooped.
Right.
You know what I mean? Yeah. And then then I did love too where he's just sitting there, like he's just laying there, like, you know, and the Predator's coming for him. And I guess Predator, he senses like, okay, something ain't right here. He's like, come on, do it. Kill me, I'm here, kill me. Come on, I'm here, kill me. And the Predator's just looking like, I think I'm gonna go around. Oh man, yeah, good stuff, man. So I'm glad you finally got a chance to check this movie out, and I'm glad you liked it because I was a little nervous after Lost Boys. I'm like, damn, I hope Mike doesn't take a shit on this movie, man. You know. So I mean, so wrapping it up, man, if you want to give it a grade, or what would you give this movie? Like, what would you grade it?
Yeah, on Letterboxd, I gave it 3.5 out of 5.
Okay,
fun movie. For me, or anything over 3, I'd revisit again.
Right.
So yeah, 3.5 out of 5. I'd say my favorite Arnold movie that we've covered so far is Commando.
Okay.
I mean, that one I had just the most fun with, you know.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, because Predator, I'm not gonna say it has a slow, but they're like I said, you know, you want to get to the Predator stuff like right away, and it doesn't do that. So Well, before we go to the next movie, okay, I forgot to ask you if any gripes. What gripes did you have? Like, you know, like putting your critic hat on, okay.
Yeah.
Well, you know, this didn't fit the narrative. And, you know, I think that, you know, the script could have been a little tighter. You know, I feel like it was just, it didn't expand on the character lore. And the story wasn't as cohesive as I thought it would be. But overall, I thought technologically sound. It was just a significant film. You know?
There's gonna be some fisticuffs of you and Perez, and I'm gonna be sitting there with popcorn waiting and watching.
I love I be trying to I ain't gonna lie, I be trying to incorporate that shit myself, man. Cause I talk how I talk, but I'll be like, damn, I said I wish I had a little bit with Perez, because Perez be talking with such like, you know, sophistication, like he could be a professional critic on TV. And I'm like, damn, I need to incorporate some of that shit. But yeah, sometimes I'll be like, bro, what the fuck the hell are you talking about, man?
Everyone has their own style, you know. So
yeah. Even some words he used, man. I'd be like, whoa. I said, wait, Perez. I said, Perez, say that word again. Okay. and then I go back and look for the definition. I'll say, okay, next review, I'm gonna say that word. Okay.
Right.
I would say, yes. So the character, he had to compartmentalize. Yeah, he had to compartmentalize, you know, that. Damn, I said it wrong.
Yeah.
Compartmentalize, however you say that shit. I loved it as a kid because me and my brother used to make bows and arrows and play in the forest. Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
All
right. So yeah, I'm sorry. Back to the question. So yeah, what gripes would you say you have with the movie? You know, with your critic hat on.
Yeah, I think I only had like two kind of minor issues with it. So nothing major.
Okay.
We discussed one of them about the woman character. I just don't think she was necessary like at all. I would rather she was out the movie and like an extra scene with the Predator, or maybe an extra scene with the characters just talking amongst themselves, kind of thing. Just to give a bit more depth to the team. So that was kind of the main one, I would say. Okay. And there's odd moments where the CG obviously doesn't hold up, but like obviously it's in the 80s, so I can't really be like, oh, it's gonna hold up great, you know.
Right.
I don't think any CG from the 80s holds up well. Obviously it's different time, you know. But again, that was only minor though, you know. Like those moments when the CG was bad, when the Predator's invisible. Yeah. I was just laughing at it.
Yeah. I think in somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but I think in some of those scenes where he was camouflaged, I think that was Jean-Claude Van Damme, because Jean-Claude was first cast as a Predator, and I guess he quit. Wow. Well, there's so much you know, controversy, like so many rumors about why he quit, because like some are saying that he quit because he didn't have enough screen time. He wanted to show his martial arts skills or whatever. And they said, no, he's not doing martial arts. He's a fucking alien, you know. Yeah. And then it was rumored that the suit, the first suit that they had was so hot that he was like passing out every day, you know. So he was like dehydrated and like heat exhaustion every day. And he just got to the point where he couldn't take it and he left. So whatever happened, he left the movie, and they brought in Kevin Peter Hall. So I think some scenes where you see him when he's invisible, I think that's Jean-Claude. I think.
Wow.
I could be wrong, yeah. And even the suit too. Like if you go like watch the behind the scenes stuff, they had an original suit because they started shooting the movie before the suit was even finished. You know what I'm saying? So here they are. They're filming in the jungle. They don't have an alien yet. So when the suit finally comes, the director's like, "What the fuck is this? Like, is this what they're gonna be like? These big guys are gonna be fighting against this?" It looked like it was like an anteater almost. It looked like an anteater mixed with the armadillo.
Yeah,
it was weird looking. So out of emergency, they called Stan Winston, and you know Stan Winston, you know, he did the dinosaurs in Jurassic Park and the Terminator.
Oh,
and, like the resume is just like fucking long, you know. So they brought Stan Winston in. So the suit that we see in the movie is what Stan Winston did like last minute.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So even the mandibles, that was because the story is he was on the airplane with James Cameron. And he was showing James Cameron his sketch book or whatever of the Predator. Right. And James Cameron was like, how about mandibles? We never seen a creature with mandibles before. Okay. So
wow.
Yeah, so the mandibles that was James Cameron's idea.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah, a little bit of trivia. All right, so good to hear that you didn't really have that many gripes, you know. I mean, no movie is without sin, even our favorite movies, you know. I don't think it was CG that did
wow.
some chroma key plus filming the same sequence. I think so. Yeah. So
okay.
probably the only CG they probably used was like the glowing eyes, probably or something. I don't. Yeah, but I think you're right. The chroma key. Yeah.
I mean, again though, like I only watched this like today on Disney Plus in 4K. So obviously I don't know any different, but it looked CG. Obviously, as Rob was saying, it probably isn't, but it just looked like that, you know. So there's scenes that like it looks a bit weak, but again, it was in the 80s, so I can't really be like, oh, it should have been masterful, you know.
Right.
Whereas now it should be, you know.
Yeah. Nah, for sure. I'm surprised it's even on Disney Plus because that's a violent movie, man.
Yeah, but it is over here in the UK anyway. I think it's because it's by 20th Century Fox.
Gotcha.
So,
Gotcha.
But yeah.
Well, I figured it'd be on Hulu because Hulu I know is owned by Disney too. So I'm surprised because Disney's supposed to be for the kids, supposed to be for the little kids, the children, you know. And so imagine my son, you know, hey, Dad, I'm gonna watch Disney Plus. Go ahead, son. And he turns on, he's watching The Predators. So I'm like, son, what are you watching? And all I hear is do. Oh no. Change that. All right. So we both dug The Predator. I gave it an A+. You gave it a 3.5 out of. We said 3.5 out of 4, right? All right. So
5, yeah.
3.5 out of 5, yeah. So listen. So we both agree The Predator is a kick-ass, fucking awesome movie. Now let's get to the B side. Okay. If you ever bought a CD or if you ever bought a cassette tape, you had the single that you wanted to listen to, the single that you bought it, and then on the B side is the song that you could listen to if you want to, but most likely you didn't like it, but you know it was a bonus because it came with the fucking single. All right.
Right.
The B side to this movie, because they both came out in 1987. Okay, the B side is The Running Man.
Right.
And The Running Man, as much as I love the 80s, and Mike, you know me, I'm biased. I defend the 80s all day, you know, but I will say this is probably a mid-tier Arnold movie that I'm not crazy. I never was crazy about this movie. I mean, I liked it when I was younger, but I was never like the biggest fan of The Running Man. But watching it now, I still dig it, but let me see, how can I word this? I feel like this movie, bro, it's like the concept and what they were going for just didn't match the tone and the execution of the movie. Because there is an intelligent film in here, bro. Like, this has to do with social commentary, and kind of predicts what the fuck we're going through right now in a lot of ways.
Right.
It takes place in 2017, but it's already talking about how like food is scarce, like everything is like, you know, like overpriced and not that much of it. Okay. Reality TV is taking over. The media is like controlling and manipulating everything, you know. So everything that's going on, what this movie is talking about is what's going on. So I'm like, shit. But when you watch the movie, bro, this is like cheesy 80s. Like, this is definitely cheesy 80s action 101 with unlimited fucking puns. Like it seemed like every word came out of Arnold's mouth in this movie was a pun. And I didn't realize it until I rewatched it today. I said, yo, this is like driving me fucking crazy. Like, dude, he can't dude, can you just talk normal? You know, you can't just get it. You just can't get a bottle of water and drink. You have to say, it quenches the thirst. Just say you want thirsty, just want to drink of water. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So yeah, The Running Man, I'm not crazy about. So I'm gonna get to my grade later, but it's okay to me. It's not as bad as like Raw Deal or some of his lower tier ones, but it's mid-tier Arnold for me. But what about you? What do you think about The Running Man?
Yeah, wasn't really a huge fan. So I've never seen this movie ever, so it was the first time again for me.
Mm-hmm.
I've always seen the movie poster, and I thought, wow, this poster looks cool as hell. You know, just the backdrop of his face and kind of like bit glitchy kind of thing. You know, I was like, wow, this looks cool. So I was watching the movie. I was like, as you mentioned, Rashad, I completely agree. Like, the concept was really cool.
Right.
And I really dug the fact that it was based on like a TV show called The Running Man, and he had to go through these obstacles to like pretty much, otherwise you die, you know? And I was like, wow, you know, this is a cool concept.
Yeah.
I think where the movie falters though is, as you said, there was a good idea in the whole picture of it, but the woman character wasn't needed in here. It was like the most forced love romance ever.
Right.
She was literally there to find the actual tape of the helicopter incident with Arnold.
The real footage,
That's all she was there for.
Mm-hmm.
She gets too much screen time.
Yeah.
I just feel like she wasn't needed, and I feel like the movie loses its way as well at times. Like one thing I love, I will say this. So one thing I loved is that beginning sequence. I was laughing my arse off, by the way, because like he's like obviously you got the cheesy 80s sound effects with the punches and stuff. And then when he's like hanging out the chopper and he's like that.
Oh man.
Funny as anything. But so I was laughing my arse off at that part. But I like the fact that obviously all that happens, and then like I think it's Winston, I might be wrong, it's like, oh, we're going to pay for this kind of thing. And then it cuts 18 months later and he's actually got like a beard. And I was like, I've never seen Arnold with a beard ever. I mean, I might be wrong. He might have movies where he's got facial hair.
I mean, it was real brief, but you did see him with the beard before. He's real briefly in Conan the Barbarian at the very end. When he's sitting on his throne, he's just sitting like this. And he's got like a full beard, with the, when he's, I guess, king. Yeah. So, and Conan, you saw it briefly. Yeah. But yeah, I like that. It cut to 18 months later. He had like a facial hair. He looks different. He looks like he had been aged. Obviously, a little bit later. And he was in that underground scene. And they're trying to get past the lasers or the detection system. Right.
So yeah, I felt like it had some good parts to it. I felt like Killian was also all right as well. I quite liked him.
Killian, yeah. I don't know if you're familiar with him, but he used to be the host of Family Feud. This is like a long time ago. Yeah,
so I wasn't sure who he was. But after the movie, I went on IMDb just to look at some trivia.
Right.
And a lot of people were like, oh yeah, exactly like how he is in Family Feud. He was like that in person.
Right.
And people didn't like him, but him and Arnold are like best friends or good friends. So yeah,
it almost seemed like he wasn't acting either. Like I think that's actually his personality. He's kind of an asshole. But I remember as a kid, he was the host of Family Feud like through I think most of the 70s and the 80s. So I kind of grew up watching the guy on TV. So it was kind of funny seeing him in this movie now as a villain that curses. And I'm like, wow, he was like he was such a nice guy on Family Feud. Kissing old ladies on the cheek and shit. You know what I'm saying? And now. Now he's fucking with Arnold, and I was doing this too also, Mike, when I was watching the movie. I said, I was playing in my mind. I said, you know what, this could have been really epic if take out Arnold and put another act. I feel like this movie wasn't for Arnold. This is not an Arnold movie, Not to say I don't want to say it was too intelligent for him, but it's not his movie. Like Arnold has a specific movie that's for him, like Commando and Predator are Arnold movies, Later on, we're going to get Total Recall. Total Recall, to me, is an Arnold movie. I feel like here, we probably could have got maybe Harrison Ford or, another A-lister that I think could have pulled this off and made it more believable. Because, once again, he's Superman. So at no point did you ever feel like, he's in danger, like that these guys can kill him, even though each level is supposed to be more difficult than the other. But at no point did you feel Arnold was in danger? But if you put like a Harrison Ford or maybe like Bruce Willis or somebody, you'd be like, damn, is he gonna make it out of here alive? So I say put another actor in there and maybe get like Ridley Scott or maybe James Cameron to direct this. I think this could have been an epic film.
Yeah, I would say I agree with you. Yeah, I think one of the criticisms of the movie was the director, and from what I've read, had done like just previously like all TV work. So I think after the movie had shot, or even before then, like even like the higher ups in the studio were like, do we really trust this guy who's done like TV work to make this movie? And obviously at the time, as you were saying, like Arnold was at his peak. He was doing like we just discussed like Predator and stuff, I didn't think he was too bad in the role, but I think like what killed it was the overuse of the puns. Because I felt like personally when I was watching it, as you know, I love Commando. So that was just cheesy fun, you know.
Yeah.
I just felt like in this movie, it was bad acting bad acting with the bad puns.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like he had sensible dialogue. And then he was I'll be back.
Right. yeah. Even his line, I agree, Mike. Even his line delivery, like it almost felt like it was a paycheck movie for him. Like, okay, I'm on top of the world. Because like even like, Arnold is kind of, at the time he was kind of considered arrogant, a little pompous, and that shows. Like you can tell he's got that movie star thing about him. Like always lighting a cigar and I'm in the movie. I don't care how I act. I just say the lines when they told me to tell him, and I give my $20 million. Isn't that great?
Right.
Yeah, so it felt like it was a paycheck movie for him. I'm sorry, what were you gonna say?
No, I was just agreeing with you. Yeah.
Yeah. And like I said, and not only was he act like he was just coasting through his performance, but like I said, it felt like he was never really in danger. When you watch Predator, he's going up against a foe that's like a lot bigger. He's got technology on his side. He's a fucking alien. How the hell is Arnold going to defeat this alien? Commando. He's got to face an army of 100 fucking soldiers. So as over the top as that movie is, you do still get that sense of he could get hurt. Something could happen to him. But in The Running Man, not once did I feel like he was in danger at all. His co-stars, like you knew the first time you saw them, the nerdy white guy with the glasses and Yaphet Kotto, you knew they were going to die as soon as you saw them. Like, okay,
right.
The only question is, when are they going to die? But you knew they were going to die.
Right.
But the movie did have its qualities, though. So to me, I like the whole thing about how the media, how they can like take footage and like edit the shit and just put out there what they want to put out there, and the public believes it. So I like that part, where Arnold has the fight with Jesse Ventura, the last guy. You know what I'm saying? Right. And so everybody's thinking like, wow, he died, and it's like, and that's scary to think about because we're almost at like with the whole deep fake technology, they can do that shit now. Like they can have me murdering somebody, it's not even me, and put me in jail for it. You know what I mean? Right. So what's your thoughts on the whole how the media manipulated everybody in the movie?
Yeah, I think it was a great take to the movie and something different. Yeah, as you mentioned, I've got to agree. Like the fact that they make him look like he was a killer, that he killed like these 1,500 innocent civilians.
Right.
So obviously straight away everyone's going to be like, oh, let's like murder that guy, like put him through the obstacle course to kill him off, kind of thing. So yeah, it just goes to show like one video, like yourself, when we make a video on YouTube, we edit our videos.
Right.
If we want to, we could edit them any way we want, and people see what we put together.
Right.
But yeah, you could easily take like a sentence I've said in this review or you've said in this live stream and be like, oh, put in the wrong phrase and there you go.
Yeah.
I'm not saying anyone would, but someone could,
Right. I mean, you could take a soundbite of me making a joke about something, but that's all you show. You know what I'm saying? So I make a comment about anything, and they'd be like, "Oh my God, Rashad he's a bigot. He's this and he's that." I'm like, no, like that was taken out of context. How many times do you hear that when celebrities be like, no, that was taken out of context. That's not what I said. Like that's not what I meant. And it's like, nah, too late. You canceled.
Well, perfect example. No, sorry to interrupt. Perfect example is the recent story with James Gunn. I think it was Hollywood Reporter posted an article about like no more Wonder Woman and like Henry Cavill no more and Aquaman, that kind of stuff. And then probably because he said a line or two in some press conference, they took that, made the article, and then he went on Twitter being like, well, no, I didn't say that. so perfect example of what they just did in The Running Man.
Yeah. Exactly. And man, that's got to be, what I would hate to be in the industry now, man, because see, back then in those days, if you had something cooking up, if you had something that you was working on, the public didn't know about it because there was no Twitter or Facebook or anything, behind the scenes was behind the scenes. And then when we finally put it out there, then, what's going on. So probably one of the first times where the public got to see kind of behind the scenes Hollywood was the whole Batman reveal. Like, yes, Michael Keaton has been cast as Batman. What? Get the fuck out of here. What are y'all ruining DC, man? Y'all fucking up Batman. No, it's the worst idea ever. I'm leaving town.
Right.
But typically, you didn't know what was going on until you saw the trailer. So when you saw a trailer, that's like the only time you'd be like, "Oh shit, they're making a movie called RoboCop, or they're making a movie called Predator." You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And that movie really illustrates that. So this is one of those rare occasions, Mike, where I say I'll be open for a remake to this movie, man. Like with what's going on today, I would say, yo, if you want to remake The Running Man, remake it.
Well, funny enough, you say that. I was looking up the movie after watching it yesterday.
Yeah.
Do you know Edgar Wright?
Edgar Wright, the name sounds familiar.
So he did Last Night in Soho last year.
Okay.
But in the past, he's done like Hot Fuzz. He's done like Shaun of the Dead.
Okay.
Like
I know it. Yeah.
He's actually in talks to do a remake of the movie. So I think that would be awesome. Like a modern.
I'll be open to it. Yeah. I'll be open to it because that's The Running Man is one of those movies where there's a great movie in there, but it just the execution was just all wrong, man. They just, you know, even down to the musical score just had just a generic synthesizer 80s score, you know what I'm saying? It was just like this and there's really no memorable, like, okay, I guess you could say where the singing fat guy got killed. I guess that was kind of a memorable part. You know, the guy that he was like a Christmas tree, you know.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Even then, Arnold, like, because it's like, okay, in the midst of what's going on, okay, this guy's trying to kill Arnold, right? And Arnold the whole time is like, "Hey, Lighthead, hey, Christmas tree,
Yeah.
hey, we need to plug you in," you know. I'm like, dude, enough with the puns. Let's get serious and kill this guy. What are you doing?
Right.
Jesus, Mary and Joseph.
So I've actually seen Total Recall.
So, oh, you have? When?
Years ago, but I've seen the Arnold one and I've seen the remake as well.
Oh, okay. All this time I thought you didn't see Total Recall. Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, it's time for a rewatch, man. Because that's gonna be on the list soon. That's gonna be part of another double feature. Yeah, Total Recall. I love that movie.
Definitely prefer the Arnold one over the new one.
I never watched with Colin Farrell. I never watched it.
Generic.
Yeah. Speaking of RoboCop, have you seen that, Mike? It's my favorite movie of the 80s. Yeah.
I have seen RoboCop. Yeah.
Just recently.
I text Rashad immediately after I got out of the cinema. It'd be like, "Hey man, watch RoboCop. It sucked."
Yeah. For a moment, my pressure went up to here. He was like, "All right, it's a prank. I'm like, man, you can't do me like that, man.
I would say that's probably one of my favorite 80s movies I've seen. RoboCop's awesome.
Yeah, and you know what? And RoboCop could have been The Running Man had they did it wrong. You know what I'm saying? Like RoboCop was just like one bad scene away, or just a tone away from being a terrible movie. You know what I'm saying? Because like it has like the same kind of aura as The Running Man, but it was just done so much better. You know what I'm saying? So it took the whole social commentary and made it into a satire that was serious at times, but then, you know, you could laugh at it at times. It had a perfect balance, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, the RoboCop could have been The Running Man had it been executed poorly. We would have been having this conversation now, like, yeah, RoboCop, I know what they were trying to do. It was a good movie in there, but they just did, you know, like something missing in that gumbo, man. This isn't. I can't put my finger on it.
Right. I think to be fair, if they did a Running Man remake, which I said they're doing discussions of from what I read, I would probably cast one of 4 people. My 4 people would be either Jake Gyllenhaal, Michael Fassbender.
Okay.
If not those, either Yahya Abdul-Mateen II or Mahershala Ali. One of those 4 I would love to see in that role. I think they would nail that role.
That's a good fucking lineup, bro. That's a good lineup. Wow, shit.
I think they would sell it well.
Yeah, you know? I think so too. Yeah, and I'll be open to it. Like, you know, like I said, most 80s movies, I'm like, no, don't touch me, messing with my childhood. But in this case, I'm like, yeah, I think this one could be remade.
Yeah, and especially Edgar Wright's a fantastic director.
Right.
He's well. Let me pull up some filmography he's done.
Okay.
I know he's done Hot Fuzz and Shaun of the Dead. Have you seen those ones?
I haven't seen those now.
Really?
So Rashad ain't seen shit either.
Oh man, Rashad ain't seen shit. Wow, I thought it was just me.
Yeah, nah.
Okay. He did Baby Driver.
Okay, I have seen Baby Driver. Yeah, I love that one. Okay.
In that. He did Last Night in Soho.
I have not seen. That's a Brad Pitt, right?
No, it's Matt Smith, Anya Taylor-Joy. It came out last year.
Yeah, I remember. What I get? I'm probably thinking of Bullet Train.
Right.
That's why I said Brad Pitt. Okay, I got my shit mixed up. Yeah.
Have you seen Scott Pilgrim versus the World?
Yes, I have. That was good. That was good. Yeah. So I have seen two of them. Okay, so I've seen that one, and I've seen Baby Driver. Michael B. Jordan being good. All right.
I would say yes, but I feel like with Michael B. Jordan personally, he's getting too big at the moment. Where not to say he's going to be like an Arnold, like an arrogant stage.
Yeah.
But I feel like at the moment he's wrapping up Creed. He's doing other projects and stuff. Like I would rather see like Yaya or, as I say, like Mahershala Ali. To be honest, out of those three.
And honestly, and if I keep it a buck, like I mean, and this is not a bash on Michael B. Like I fuck with Michael B. Jordan, but those actors that you name have so much more range than Michael B. Like Michael B. almost is like kind of almost one note, I mean, but he charming, charming. He's good in all of his movies, but he just doesn't have that range as an actor,
right?
You know what I mean? Like a Yahya Abdul-Mateen who could play anything, and be believable. Right. He could be Black Manta or he could be Candyman. You know what I'm saying? But Michael B. is Michael B. in every movie, just a different version of Michael B. in every movie.
Right.
Yeah. Right. So you take Killmonger. Killmonger is just a more aggressive, murderous psychopath version of Adonis Creed.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. So as far as, because it seemed like we're kind of shitting on this movie. So are there any highlights to The Running Man where you was like, okay, that scene was actually kind of cool. Like, okay, I kind of fuck with that scene right there.
Yeah, I see. Like, I like the concept. I like the fact of like in them like moving vehicles at first. Like when I was watching that, I felt dizzy when they were going through the tunnels.
that was a cool scene. Yeah.
But it was realistic, like if me or you in one of them vehicles, we'd be dizzy as shit and thrown up once we got out of it.
What? Man, be falling over, man. As soon as you get out, you be like all off balance and shit, discombobulated.
Right. I just felt like it was cool, the fact of like once you get out of that, he goes up against Buzzsaw, like trying to outrun someone with a chainsaw. That's
right.
Then he's on the back of the motorcycle, hanging on for dear life. Like that was cool. Then he's off against a guy in a tank, kind of thing. So I felt like the obstacle courses part was cool, and the fact like you had like these old women cheering on to die.
Oh yeah.
I was like, not even a young audience; it's like old women just cheering, Yeah.
Actually, that part was kind of funny when he was like, "Okay, who's gonna make the next kill?" And she's like, "Ben Richards." He's like, "No, yeah. you can't pick him. You have to pick one of the." So I can pick whoever I want. I pick Ben Richards. That young man's a bad motherfucker.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh shoot.
That was good. Yeah, I also like the violence element in it. Yeah, I felt like that was done really well, like with Buzzsaw and the first guy with the ice hockey rink kind of thing.
Yes, who I think he's like a real wrestler, because that guy's been in a lot of movies in the 80s. The big Japanese guy. Yeah, he was actual. I don't know if he was I think he was a professional wrestler / like martial artist, but yeah, he's actually legit. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think even the Buzzsaw guy, I think he was a former so all those guys were like former athletes. So Buzzsaw's I think he's a former football player, and I know definitely a Fireball that's Jim Brown, one of the greatest running backs ever to fucking play the game, But of course, you don't recognize him at first. Like you have to do a double take. Like, wait a minute, is that Jim Brown? Oh shit!
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah. So a lot of those guys are former athletes. And hold up, okay. So the big security guard, you recognize him, right?
Yeah, Jesse Ventura.
No. The guy, the
No.
security guard, Richard Dawson's, Killian's security guard. The guy with he had like looked like the Big Boss Man almost with the buzz cut. He had the beard. He's like, escort him out. What is steroids and fuck with your brain? Get him out of here.
Oh,
The
right.
big guy. Yeah, that guy. Yeah.
Who was he?
He was the guy with the big hammer in Conan the Barbarian.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was the guy with the big. Yeah,
shit.
Arnold used him in a lot of movies. He was also in Commando. He was one of the people that died in Commando. So yeah, he's a weightlifter. So Arnold uses him in a lot of his movies. You know. Oh, and he was in Predator. Yeah, he got killed. He got killed. I think he was the guy that Arnold threw the knife at him, and it stuck him. He said, stick around. That was him.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah.
Shit, no, I didn't realize.
Yeah, and you might notice him from a more recent movie. Well, kind of recent. He was in Gladiator.
I haven't seen Gladiator. I do, however, I bought the Blu-ray not long ago.
Okay.
So it's on my list. I've got it.
Whenever you decide to watch that, I don't give a damn. You're gonna have me on that shit. That is my motherfucking movie. I love Gladiator. That's one of those ones that gets me in my feelings, bro. Like, I watch that movie, I get like a feeling of triumph, despair, you know what I'm saying, hope, and then by the end, I'm a big water bag. I'm crying. Like that movie leaves you emotionally drained by the time it's over with. At least to me.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not to hype it up too much. I'm just saying my experience. I cried like a bitch at the end. Yes, I did.
Yeah, I've heard like nothing but good things about it.
Mhm.
It's on my list. It's on my list. So definitely when I watch it, I'll get you on.
Yeah, for sure. You better. I mean, hell, after you watch Gladiator, you're really gonna hate Love and Thunder. Okay. Real talk, man. Real talk. All right. So now, okay, let's see highlights of the movie that I could think of. I guess I have pretty much the same highlights as you. The violence I thought was decent. The different characters. The ice skating guy, Fireball, Buzzsaw. All those guys worked. And Arnold, even though Arnold's performance was not that good, but still he's Arnold Schwarzenegger. So Arnold can be just coasting through a film and not trying, and still just ooze a fucking charisma and testosterone where you still love the guy. You know what I'm saying? Unlike Sylvester Stallone, when he doesn't care, you can tell he doesn't care. And it shows through his performance. Which is going to be one of your next movies. I'm gonna get to that in a second, but
okay.
Yeah, when Arnold's not even trying, he's still like the most coolest guy in the fucking world. You know what I'm saying? So he's still a highlight of the movie. But other than that, this movie is just average for me. If I give it a grade, I would give it a C.
It's fair.
Yeah.
I think I give it like 2.5 stars. I think
2.5.
Yeah.
That's like what, a D plus?
I'm not sure. Yeah, I had potential. Yeah.
Yeah, it did, man. We finally found a movie Rashad and I disagree on. Whoa. Now, okay, I'm not talking about the Gladiator with there's two different Gladiators. I'm not talking about Gladiator with Cuba Gooding Jr. and Brian Dennehy, the boxing movie. I'm talking about Gladiator. Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? Yes, that one. This is not why you were here.
Well, Rashad,
strength and honor.
Well, Rashad, when I watch this movie,
and
I do live stream, I'm getting you and I'm getting Rob on that live stream.
Yes. We got Rob. We got to talk about that one, bro.
Right.
Gladiator was my movie, but I saw that like 3 times at the theater. As soon as it dropped on DVD, I was working at Blockbuster. I got it with my employee discount. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I love that movie, man. So, wait a minute. I gotta show it. Yeah, that one. Don't like it at all. Wow. That's the first, bro. I've never heard anybody say they dislike Gladiator.
Well, it's
incredible.
In a way, it's kind of refreshing because everyone's like, oh, they love this movie, so obviously I'm expecting to kind of go in and hopefully like this, and Rob's saying I don't like it, so it's kind of like opened me up to be like, oh, I'm going to stick in the middle on this one till I've seen it, you know?
Yeah. Well, one of these days, Mike, I'm gonna stop being shocked, because doing this YouTube and being in this YouTube game, there's always gonna be a hot take. No matter how great a film is, or how great you think a film is, or how terrible you think a film, you could think like this film is like the worst piece of shit that ever graced this planet, and somebody absolutely adores it. Vice versa.
Right.
This is the greatest movie since Jesus walked on water. Rashad, I hated it. What?
well, perfect example is hey man,
it was good. Cool to the fullest.
Perfect example, Rashad, is we're definitely going to sit down and talk it out. Don't you worry, Rob. Well, perfect example, Rashad, is recently on your channel you've had Dave for the Godfather trilogy. The Godfather, and I love that movie.
Yes, about 95% of people do, but like I said, there's always that one that's like, I ain't like it. What? You had me stuttering, Mike. I'm like, what are you talking about? I don't like gangster movies. I don't like gangsters. There's nothing redeemable about them. And I mean, I understand. I always try to understand where the other person's coming from. Like for example, last week, me and Perez, we reviewed Baby Boy, right? The John Singleton movie with Tyrese. Which
yes, yeah.
I love the movie. I think Baby Boy is like, it's a serious movie, but to me, it works as a comedy because there's just so many funny, relatable, real moments in that movie. And Perez really didn't care for it. I mean, he gave it his props. He gave, he did say some good things about it, but overall he was like, it just didn't do it for me. But when he explained why he didn't like it, I said, okay, I understand. Okay, I get that. I get that.
Yeah.
I can totally see where you're coming from. You have a point. I can't argue with it, but I don't give a fuck. I still love it. Still have your opinion, but I'm still gonna love it anyway. You know what I'm saying? So, so this time we both agree. So we agree on Running Man being average at best and Predator just being the shit. So we both agree that Running Man is the B-side to Predator if you bought the single.
Yeah, the Running Man felt like the obligatory song that had to put on the single.
No doubt, man. No doubt. So yeah, once again, man, this is fun doing this. So now we gotta get to our next collab, our next double feature. So we're taking a break from Arnold. And we're gonna go back to Sly. So two of my these are two guilty pleasures for me. So if you shit on these movies, I understand. If anybody shits on them, I understand. I personally love them. Okay. I talked to my father. I talked to my father about it because I had a double feature with these two last year, and I was drunk. And I texted him. I said, "Dad, remember these movies, man? How great they were!" And thinking he was gonna be like, "Yes, I remember showing you that as a kid." My father said, "Son, those movies are terrible, man." I said, "Dad, what you talking about?" He said, "Man, those movies are bad. So what you doing watching that shit? I never liked those movies." I said, "But you guys," he said, "Yeah, I got it for you because you liked it, man. I never liked that shit." Yeah, but my father is me with the volume. Yo, my father is me with the volume turned up, man.
I would pay to see you two on a live stream one day. Really would.
It would, yes. My father, he's a trip. Okay, so these next two movies, our next double feature is going to be.
Hold on.
Uh-oh.
Before we get to that double feature, Rashad.
Okay.
Because I'm sure probably after Christmas now. I've got a project for you, which I think you already know around.
Okay.
So expect to see Rashad on my channel very soon for Santa with Muscles.
That's right. Thank you. I forgot about that. Thank you for reminding me. I forgot about that. Matter of fact, okay, I'm watching that this weekend before I forget, man. I'm watching that this weekend before I forget. Yeah, so I got Santa with Muscles, and then I got Mandingo. I gotta get those out this week. Thank you for reminding me, bro. I'm sorry. I gotta start writing this shit down.
You're welcome. But what have you got for us? I'm intrigued.
Yes. Okay, so we got in no particular order, Cobra with Sylvester Stallone.
Okay.
And Over the Top, the sentimental arm wrestling movie. Probably the only sentimental arm wrestling movie you'll ever see. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. So yeah, Cobra and Over the Top. One is extremely violent and the other one is extremely sappy, but all Sylvester Stallone.
Man, I've been hyped to watch Over the Top for the longest time. I just never got to it.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's it's a canon movie. Okay, it's one of the movies that was the reason for Cannon going belly up. All right, because yo, I give it to how you say his name, Menachem Golan, a very ambitious man. Like this dude he risked it all. He said, "Listen, I want to do this movie. We got to get Sylvester Stallone. He's the biggest star in the world." Mind you, Cannon before this, Mike, was doing movies for like what, not even $250,000. It was like $30,000, $50,000. They was just like an assembly line of like ninja movies, skin flicks. You know what I'm saying? Breakdance and shit like that. So he's trying to get into the big leagues with Warner Brothers and Universal and Columbia Pictures. Like, dude, you're not them. You're Canon Pictures. Stick to your lane. But he said, no, I want to be on this side. So he said, okay, we're going to get the biggest star in the world, Sylvester Stallone. I don't care how much he costs. So you go from making movies for $50,000, $60,000 to now you're going to pay Stallone by himself $30 billion. Never heard of.
Wow.
So I think the story is the first time he approached Sly said, what can it be? I don't want to do that. Okay, we're going to give you $10 million. Not interested. $20 million. Nah. $30 million. Okay, where do I sign? So wow. 90% of the budget was Sly's fucking check, his paycheck.
Wow.
Yeah. And when you watch the movie, I mean, I hope maybe you'll see this, but Sly, he was not there. He just didn't want to be there. He's like, look, give me my fucking check. Let me get the hell out of here.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
Oh man, I'm hyped.
Yeah, I can't wait to talk about those, man. Cannot wait. So before we wrap this up, man, I remember liking both of those. Doesn't some dude drink motor oil? And yes, they do. Yes, they do. Yep, character by the name of John Grizzly. Yeah, drinks some motor oil. Yeah, I'm going through like gas through a funnel. And then takes Alka-Seltzer afterwards.
All
right, so Michael, I'm gonna give the floor to you. Let you plug in your channel and what you have coming up and all that good stuff. So take it away, bro.
Yeah, of course. Well, as always, Rashad, thanks for having me on. Been way too long since we've done one of these, so yeah, thanks for having me. Coming up on the channel is I've recently just dropped a video yesterday about what I've got coming up on the channel next year and kind of some big plans. I've got my the next special in my Christmas series, Nightmare Before Christmas, coming up probably the weekend. Also today, the reason I've got my Christmas jumper on is I was around my brother's house and I've shot like a Christmas special with my brother where we sit down and we answer some questions and stuff. So that'll be cool.
Nice.
And then besides that, me and you are going to be doing Santa with Muscles.
Santa with Muscles, yes, sir. Sir.
And then the last video I've got is me and Perez are doing an Asylum movie, Christmas movie for my special. So that's going to be good.
Oh, wow. Wow, Perez. Is this Perez's first Asylum experience?
No. Oh, man. So very quick funny story is I was talking to Perez the other night and the movie's called Born Alone. So instead of Kevin McAllister, it's a dog who's trying to beat the bandits. and I said, great. Yeah, and I said to Perez, I was like, man, I'm sorry to put you through all these movies. So I went through all the videos on my channel and I was like, right, how many times I've had Perez on? So I found out all the movies and out of like 7 movies, he's watched one good movie with me. The rest have been terrible.
Oh, wow. Wow. Damn, Perez. I mean, I feel sorry for Haley too, his fiance, man. I feel bad for her because, especially like when I throw those blaxploitation movies out, he's like, okay, Haley, we got to watch one of Rashad's movies. Oh my God. Well, what did he pick this time? This time it's Black Belt Jones. Poor Haley, man. Yeah, man. I think what I pick out for Perez next time is I say, I gotta give him a good movie, man. I gave him what did I give him this time? Bamboozled with Spike Lee. I gave him Bamboozled this time. Yeah.
Okay.
So hopefully he enjoys that. I've been giving him some stinkers that he just didn't care for. So hopefully Bamboozled he'll enjoy. Yeah. All right, so anybody watching, if you haven't already, I put Mike's link in the description. Did you see that? So make sure you subscribe to the channel. Go check him out. He's got a lot of dope ass content on there. You know what I'm saying? A lot of live streams and stuff, man. Just good energy. And I enjoy watching your channel, even though I don't comment all the time. But trust me, bro, I do be watching. I'm just bad at commenting. You know what I'm saying? So unless you don't struck a nerve or something that I really agree with you on, like, oh man, I gotta, you know. But other than that, just be like, all right, cool, it's all right, my nigga Mike, you know. So as far as what I got coming up, man, I'm gonna have a busy weekend, bro. Yeah, 'cause I gotta watch that one, Santa with Muscles, Mandingo. I gotta watch. Let's see, Emancipation with Will Smith. You know, gotta check that out. Also, Pinocchio just dropped on Netflix today. Guillermo del Toro, so I gotta watch that. And also a Shudder movie that I just seen dropped. It's a Christmas Santa slasher movie on Shudder. What's it called? You might have seen it already, Mike. What's it called?
I think it's a Christmas, Bloody Christmas. Or
yeah, that's it. Christmas, Bloody Christmas. Yeah.
I saw that on Shudder today. Yeah, I haven't seen it though.
You haven't seen it yet? Yeah. So I gotta watch. So I gotta watch 5 movies this weekend. in between working, so that's gonna be interesting to pull off. Yeah, definitely for sure, man. Are you was gonna say something?
I was just gonna say, if I've got time this weekend, I'm watching this.
Gladiator. Yes. Are you not entertained? I'm telling you, man. Like Mike, you're gonna be quoting that shit like crazy. I'm telling you, man. Afterwards, you're gonna be walking around with no shirt on, talking about strength and honor. and Emma's gonna be like, Mike, what the fuck are you talking about? Strength and honor. Okay, strength and honor. Right. Bone alone, is that even possible? Does it take at least 2 to bone? Good point. Shit, good point. Touche.
I only know.
The Running Man is an underrated entry in the Arnold au revoir. No, I have to respectfully disagree, fam. The Running Man is average at best, bro. That movie just dog, he has almost as many puns in that. He might even have more. Because I'm thinking like, okay, which Arnold movie has more puns? Batman and Robin or The Running Man? Because he never just talked. Everything was a pun.
Yeah, it was.
Everything. Yeah. So people give him shit for Batman and Robin, but I'm like, no, I think he was worse than The Running Man. That's my personal opinion. So yeah, so y'all, so thank everybody that tuned in to watch us talk about some oldies but goodie. Well, at least one of them's an oldie but goodie. And yeah, make sure you check out Mike. Did you see that? And check me out also. The stuff gonna be dropping this weekend. And that's all. This is Rashad G, Big Mike signing out. See you on the next video.
Yeah, see you, everyone.
And now that awkward